So I went for a hike yesterday with my housemate Aram, and we had a long talk. And we were talking about life in general. Again, we were talking about religion. God bless him. God bless his heart. Aram, he is an Russian Orthodox Christian, and like a lot of people, you know, when you grow up religious, sometimes you don't question these things, you know, they are just family traditions. And if my family has been religious, I think I would have been the same. I wouldn't have questioned anything, you know, like I would just do things because it's family traditions and that's what we believe in. But unfortunately, I came to religion when I was an adult, and so already my upbringing had an effect on me. So I don't know if you already know. I think I've told you guys about this, but yeah, I grew up in a post-Vietnam War society in which we don't really believe in anything other than paying respect to our ancestors. We don't believe in a God. You know, I don't think we have an official religion in our country. And especially after, you know, like the communist reform of the country, a lot of people are atheists, you know, they don't believe in anything. And so that had an impact on my upbringing because my parents, they're not religious. So I grew up an atheist. I talked to Aram about my experience with joining the faith and my struggles with my faith, how I wrestled with God and believing in God and even trusting people, you know. I told him about my experience being in a cult, you know, and that has really changed my worldview and how I see people. Now, this is not to say that there's no good people out there. I still do think that there are good people. I just wish that people were more upfront about things. You know, they always have a hidden agenda, these religious people. And I respect that. I wish that they would have just been upfront about it rather than pretending to be my friends and pretending to, you know, sympathize and be interested in me, just so that over time they can push their ideas upon me. You know, why don't you just be upfront about it? That's what cults are. They're very secretive. They hide things. So I told Aram about that, and I told him I've been wrestled with these ideas, and I told him how I don't think I can ever join an organized religion ever again because of my negative experiences. Bless those people who have never experienced anything like this and they continue to be secure in their faith. And you know, like, it's not a good thing to be constantly questioning things in life. A restless heart is a troubled heart. Sometimes I wish that I am blissfully ignorant about certain things in life, but when I form my own ideas about things, it's very hard for me to change my mind about certain things. And based on my negative experiences with organized religion, that is enough reason for me not to want to be in any of those organizations again. Don't get me wrong, they are good people, but I don't see myself being a part of those organizations. Now, the other thing I want to talk about as well is that a lot of people, they fall into this trap of trying to define themselves, because you simply cannot define yourself. You want to have an identity, you want to belong to a group, because you yourself are confused. You're not meant to define yourself. We can't be defined. We are not a fictional character in the movie where the viewers can look at that character and say he's a psychopath, or he has a deep-rooted belief in something, and that's his identity. It's very hard to define a person, and you see this attempt at defining oneself nowadays when people align with a religion, just so they can feel like they are a part of something, even though they don't really believe everything that religion stands for. Like, you call yourself a Christian. Do you believe that these words from God are infallible? Do you believe that God cannot be questioned? Or do you yourself sometimes find yourself bending the rules a little bit, cutting corners to suit your own agenda? Can you call yourself a Muslim and yet you don't believe in these things about men and women, about the role of men and women? You see people trying to use politics as well. Like, they call themselves a right-leaning person, or a left-leaning person, a liberal, a conservative, a traditionalist, a capitalist, all of these labels. But do you actually believe in that label itself? And do you believe in everything that label stands for? I'm not trying to be overly analytical, but the fact of the matter is you cannot define yourself. There's always an overlap between your affiliations, and there are certain things you agree with from that with that affiliation. Like, I call myself a Vietnamese, but I don't really share the same values that like a lot of my fellow countrymen would have. And even though I've lived in Australia for most of my life, I don't think I ever fit in. I can't call myself an Australian either. It's hard. And you see people using sexual orientation as well. Like, they want to have an identity. They want to define themselves. So they come up with all of these pronouns. They come up with all of these different sexual orientations in order to define themselves. Why don't you just be, man? Just be yourself. You can't be defined. You are your own person. You don't need an organization. You don't need a certain sets of beliefs or doctrines to define your person. Anyways, that's enough rambling. I don't think I make any sense at all. I'm just a confused mess of a man, and I'm probably someone you don't want to listen to because I'm confused. Clearly, I do not have a certain set of ideologies that I adhere by strictly. I don't follow a religion strictly. I don't have a certain, like, I do not have an affiliation that I swear allegiance to. If there's, I'm very inconsistent with my values and my morals. I'm very inconsistent with my reasoning as well, and that's how it's meant to be. I think we're not clearly defined. When you put people in a box, they lose all of that individuality, I think. But maybe individuality is not that important in society. Anyways, hope you guys are doing well. Stay strong. God bless. I hope you guys are well. Thank you for listening to my rambling, and I'll speak to you soon.